It's time for the Douglas Coleman Show. Smooth and Savvy is joined by some of the hottest talent in the entertainment industry, from musicians to authors and all those in between. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Smooth and Savvy himself, Douglas Coleman.
Howdy, howdy, ho. Hey. Hee hee ha ha ho. Welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. It's me, Douglas Coleman. How are you? How are you? How are you? We have a musical potpourri show for you today. We've got a little bit of everything. Our featured guest is a country artist, probably traditional country. I would put her genre in. Fabulous singer and great lady. We had a nice conversation. She'll be up in a little while. Her name is Luanne Hunt. Before that, though, I just wanted to mention that I'm still on my diet, and I've lost 14 pounds now. Michael Temez was on. We talked. We had a nice chat, and I have his book, and I've been reading his book and have some great tips on weight loss and nutrition, and anybody who is having problems with their weight should pick up his book. It's called Transformative Nutrition, and I've certainly learned a thing or two reading the book, so I'm excited to I'm about a third of the way through it, so I'm going to try to get to the rest of it within the next month or so, and hopefully the weight will keep coming off, and I will be a slimmer Douglas Coleman. We will be right back with music from Villa Avenue and John Jenkins right after these messages.
With Adventure Boundless, best-selling author Jane Yates follows up her acclaimed Paradox Child trilogy with Garden, a steampunk science fiction novel with fantasy overtones, enjoyable for all ages. Inspired by the classic novel The Secret Garden, Garden begins with 11-year-old Aberdeen living in space above a perilous Earth. Aberdeen is looked after by her robot nanny, but she is often used to being alone, dreaming of dragons and castles. The sudden death of her parents forces her to live with her neglectful uncle on Earth and is captivated to find a world repairing itself. Fascinated by her new surroundings, Aberdeen makes new friends and explores the boarded-up house, only to discover a mysterious tunnel leading to wondrous things. Follow Aberdeen's journey of self-discovery, of trials and friendship. Garden, narrated by acclaimed actress Anna Parker Naples.
Hey there, this is Douglas Coleman, host of the Douglas Coleman Radio Show. I wanted to let you know that we are now offering advertising slots on our show for just $5. Yes, you heard it right, just $5. That's cheaper than a McDonald's meal, and it's better for you too. I will mention your website and product on our show, or for just $10, I will play your pre-recorded ad up to 30 seconds in length. We are now an internationally syndicated show with listeners from all over the world. This is a great and inexpensive opportunity to gain some exposure for you and your product or brand, and your ad won't just play once. It will become a permanent part of the show, which will archive on YouTube, Mixcloud, and on Spreaker. So why not do it now to get the exposure you deserve?
Hi there, this is Stuart Epps from the UK, record producer, engineer. You might have heard of me. I've worked with artists from Elton John to Led Zeppelin to Bad Company, Twisted Sister, Robbie Williams, Oasis, many, many great bands and artists in the past and the present and hopefully in the future. But you can work with me as well. You know, all you got to do is get in touch with me on epsmusicproductions.com. That's EPPsproductionsmusic.com. And I can help you with your productions and with your recordings. A lot of people do home recordings now, which you can only take so far. Maybe they need a bit of professional help. So get in touch with me and we can sort it out. And thanks for Douglas Coleman for giving me the spot. Thanks a lot. Cheers, bye.
Okay, now here's Running in Circles by Villa Avenue and Sweet Delphine by John Jenkins.
part with like the extra guitars in the beginning. Like, it sounds kind of cool.
When my ship sailed into town, the captain told us, boys, take a look around. A little tavern down a winding road. We all made merry, the drinks did flow. All my life I've been a sailor, seen the seven wonders, sailed the seven seas, but I have never seen such beauty as my sweet Delphine. She told me she had traveled far. We talked all night until the last fading star. All my life I've been faithful, faithful to my captain, faithful to the sea. Should I disregard my calling and give it up to stay with my sweet Delphine? Life can be cruel, life can be good. Captain Hart once told me, I'll come and see this girl for myself. Give my blessing to you and Delphine. Surprises that I could never foresee, but I was never more surprised when my captain took her hand, gave sweet Delphine.
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
again,
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Ooh, don't know my own strength.
now here's something we hope you'll really like.
After 20 years of struggling to make it in the music business, country folk singer Luanne Hunt finally achieved worldwide recognition. In the indie artist world, there's no question that country folk singer-songwriter Luanne Hunt has made a mark. Throughout her illustrious career, she has built an impressive list of accomplishments, including scoring numerous #1 hits on independent country music charts around the world. She is best known for her chart-topping single Christmas Without You, which was recently named by Sweden's largest daily newspaper, Dagens Nyheter, sorry Olaf, one of the top 25 Christmas songs of all time. Her efforts paid off big time in 2007 when her CD Breaking Through produced 2 hit singles on the US and European charts. The enchanting Solace in the Wind reached #1 on the European Country Music Association's chart in 2010. It also peaked at number 37 on the Indie World Country chart, which is the largest and oldest independent music chart in the genre. Okay, please welcome Luanne Hunt. Hi, Luanne. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Was reading through your bio, and it seems real interesting. I want to get right into it, but I do want to ask you about your background a little bit, if you could. It said that you were struggling for 20 years to make it in the music business. So have you been working with music or at music most of your life? Did you just start as a kid, or tell us a little bit about your background, if you would, please?
Well, I was always interested in music as a kid, and I loved to sing. But unfortunately, I wasn't one of those kids that, seemed like I was just a prodigy or something, or I had all this natural born talent. So I went through a lot of naysaying when I would express my dreams to people. And I don't know, I just sort of have a scrappy personality, so despite all the negativity, it really didn't deter me from holding on to that dream. And then when I got older, I started to look for ways I could pursue it, and I took some classes at a community college in singing, and kind of got my start that way just to get my confidence up, because I really just, like I said, I didn't have that natural thing where people just recognized that I had a gift right away. So I really had to learn how to utilize my voice and bring out the best of it.
Okay, so at what point in your career, what were you doing? Were you performing? Were you writing? Were you playing in clubs? What were you doing actually to try to make a name for yourself in the business?
Well, at the very beginning, I was just doing a lot of local things. Like I would sing with, you know how a lot of these cities have concerts in the park?
Sure.
I would do those with bands, and I would do the retirement homes and the county fairs. Most of it was free or for very little pay, but it helped me because it gave me a lot of experience being in front of an audience and just getting comfortable with actually singing without being, fearful that I was going to be ridiculed. So.
Okay. One of the questions on your sheet that I did want to ask you, actually, it said, what type of unconscious beliefs stood in the way of achieving your goals? What was it? Was it something, lack of confidence? Or what was it that was holding you back?
It's really interesting. Somebody else asked me this question the other day, and I never really had any doubt about myself and what I was capable of. I always had some sort of inborn confidence that I could do anything I set my mind to. So that wasn't really a belief that, was an issue. But what I had trouble believing for such a long time was that I could be the greatest singer in the world or write the greatest song, and other people wouldn't embrace it. Not because it wasn't any good, but just because that seemed to be a pattern in my life. Like, no matter what I did and how good it was, people just sort of ignored it or belittled it. So I had to really work to overcome that, because when you're putting music out there for the masses and you don't really believe that the masses are going to like it, it's not good. That's not going to draw a lot of success to you.
Well, no, you certainly have to have the confidence in yourself, especially in this business. I mean, that'll be the first thing to kill you if you don't come out on stage, like Rocky. I mean, you've got to come out there like, you own the place. Yeah, because I think that the confidence, the audience will pick up on that very quickly. And they'll also pick up if you don't have it. They won't like you if you don't have a certain level of confidence. They paid money probably to come and see a show, and they're expecting a show. They're expecting a performance.
Yeah, I notice with a lot of people, especially these days, even singers that aren't that great, you just get the feeling that they think they are, and that they think everyone else is going to think so too. And I just was never like that. In the back of my mind, I was always thinking, they're probably not going to like what I'm doing. Not because I thought it wasn't good. It was just, like I said, that seemed to be a pattern in my life where I could just create anything and just be treated like it was nothing, like it didn't have any value.
So at what point did you start to realize success? When was it that you thought, oh, okay, now I'm getting somewhere?
That was probably when I started to change my inner beliefs, and I had to work a lot on that. But as I began to uncover what I was really thinking, because a lot of times we don't realize what we're really thinking deep down. There's a lot of surface stuff going on, but if you get to the heart of the matter, sometimes you see something different. And so as I began to work on changing my unconscious beliefs that weren't serving me, I started to see success. For instance, people started looking at what I was doing in a more positive light. And there was people that started coming out of the woodwork to help me. I met a really great radio promoter who really believed in what I was doing. And he just took me under his wing and started sending my music out everywhere. And it just gave me a lot of confidence. And I think once you get that confidence, it starts the momentum.
So your first number one hit was a Christmas song, right?
Yes, it's Christmas Without You, which has an amazing story behind it.
Oh, tell us the story.
Yeah, back in 1960, my friend Lawton Giles and his songwriting partner Buster Beam, they were writers for Patsy Cline, and they wrote 6 of her songs. And apparently Patsy had approached them one day. It was like in the summertime, and she was thinking about Christmas, and she thought she wanted to have a Christmas song for her fans. So she asked Lawton and Buster if they'd write her a song, and they said sure, and they wrote this song called Christmas Without You. Patsy went crazy for it and took it to the label that she was on at the time, Decca. And her reps really liked the song, but they didn't like the whole Christmas theme. So they asked Lawton and Buster to go ahead and change the lyrics to something non-seasonal. And the song became How Can I Face Tomorrow? They recorded it real fast, put it out on the charts, didn't really do anything. So Lawton told me that Patsy was heartbroken that she didn't get to give her fans a Christmas song. So all these years later, I was getting ready to do my Christmas album, How Christmas Feels to Me, in 2008, and he and I were talking, and he started telling me the story about Patsy's song and said, would you like to record it the way it was originally written? And I said, are you kidding? I don't even need to hear it. I just love the fact that it has this awesome story behind it. So I recorded it, and it's been getting a lot of momentum over the years. So this last Christmas, Sweden's largest daily newspaper named the song one of the top 25 Christmas songs, best Christmas songs of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Merle Haggard and Mariah Carey and Otis Redding and all kind of big stars were on this list, and then me. It was really quite an accomplishment. And it wound up on other 2 major publications' top Christmas song list of 2015 as well, with all kind of country stars, and I felt like I had made it at that point.
Unfortunately, we don't have that song to play, but I do have another one which says here that this was a U.S. and European chart, reached number 1 on the European Country Music Association's chart in Belgium, called Solace in the Wind. And
Yeah.
I'd like to play that one. Can you tell us any story about that?
Yeah, back in the late 90s, my husband and I were going through a really difficult patch in our marriage. And he went on a trip with his dad to Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And he said he was just so inspired by the beauty, and he was in a lot of pain about our relationship, and he felt like we were going to break up. And anyway, when he was there, he wrote Solace in the Wind. So he came back to California and he sang it for me, and I just thought, oh my God, that song's a masterpiece. But I didn't record it right away. And then in 2007, when I was going to do my first national release, that was like the first song I thought of. I have to do that. So I did, and it's had a lot of success. I mean, they even made a line dance to it in Europe. And it was on the Grammy ballot in 2009. And of course it was on that chart that you just mentioned. And it's had a lot of great feedback, and people just really resonate with the message.
Well, let's have a listen to it. This is Solace in the Wind by Luanne Hunt.
I have walked across the sand dunes all around Kill Devil Hills. I've looked past the horizon for something to cure my ills. I realize that I can never live my life again. I stand here and take solace in the wind. Like the wind, I have no destination. Like the wind, I wander to and fro. I realize for each beginning there will be an end. I stand here and take solace in the wind. Never once did I imagine all the turns my life would take. The people who would bless me, all the hurt left in my wake. I realize some wounds heal nicely, some will never mend. I stand here and take solace in the wind. Like the wind, I have no destination. Like the wind, I wander to and fro. I realize for each beginning there will be an end. I stand here and take solace in the wind. Wind will wrap its arms around me. It hears confessions I don't speak. And when I'll listen to no other, the wind she whispers as I weep. Like the wind, I have no destination. Like the wind, I wander to and fro. I realize for each beginning there will be an end. I stand here and take solace in the wind. I stand here and take
All right. Well, thank you. That was a great song. Yeah, very nice singing. It's a very pretty song. Who were some of the people that you listened to growing up? What was some of the music you liked?
Well, my biggest influence of all was John Denver. The first time I heard his music, it just spoke to my heart in ways I can't even describe. But I also really like the folk rock from the 70s, and I listened to a lot of Carly Simon and James Taylor, Bob Dylan, all that stuff. I love the Beatles, of course, most people do, but
Yeah.
I think they were a big influence just because they wrote such amazingly catchy melodies.
They were pretty much the masters at that, yeah.
Oh, I know. So, and I love the way they produce their music. George Martin actually is my hero. I mean, he was just brilliant in the studio with the stuff that he did. I always kind of listen to music from a producer's perspective as well, too, so I could just sit back and take in all these cool things they were doing.
Now, are you signed to a label at this point?
Just my own.
Just your own. Okay. So, are you self-produced?
Yes, I am. I work with a gentleman who he's very connected with Alison Krauss and a lot of the bluegrass and folk people out there in the mainstream. And he owns the studio where I record. So he kind of lends a hand from the producing standpoint. He does mostly all the engineering, and he does my vocal harmonies and kind of helps me at the outset of this song, whatever I'm working on, to kind of get it together with the guitar accompaniment and things like that. So, but it's just him and me for the most part.
Oh, I want to listen to another one, actually. Let's see. We've got Bluer Than the Bluegrass, and we've got Darcy Farrow Final.
Yes, Darcy Farrow, yes.
Oh, okay. Final is what? That's like the final mix or something?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. I want to play that one next. Tell us about Darcy Farrow.
Well, Darcy Farrow was written back in the 1970s, and a lot of people have recorded that. There's been a couple hundred artists that have recorded it, and John Denver being one of them, and he's the one that sort of brought the song to the public's attention. And I always loved his version of it, but I was going to go ahead and do it. The reason I recorded it was because I was going to be singing at this Aspen in October event that they have every year. It's like a festival, and it's all to honor John Denver and his memory and his legacy. And so they wanted me to sing up there. So, but you can only sing John Denver songs. So I thought I would do Darcy Farrow, and I went ahead and recorded it because I thought if I'm going to go make a track to sing to, I might as well go ahead and finish it. But anyway, I wound up doing it really differently than everybody else. I pushed the tempo, and it's just this really fun kind of musical backdrop, and it worked really good with the song. So it's just like one of those great songs that you can probably put at any tempo and it's going to sound good.
Who wrote the song?
Steve Gillette.
I've actually heard that name. Okay.
And it's all fiction, but I guess his sister, she rode horses or something, and she fell off a horse and banged up her chin or something like that. And anyway, so he got this whole idea to write Darcy Farrow and the story, and it's pretty cool.
Okay. Well, let's have a listen to this one. This is Darcy Farrow, sung by Luanne Hunt.
Where the Walker runs down to the Carson Valley Plain, there lived a maiden, Darcy Farrow was her name, the daughter of old Dundee, and a fair one was she.
Oh, very nice. You know, I have actually heard John Denver's version of that song. As soon as it started playing, I remembered it. Yeah, that's definitely
it's
a great
really
song.
great song.
Yeah, super. I was going to ask you, what would you recommend to somebody who is starting out in the music business now? You've said on your bio that you had some secrets to success. And I want to ask you, what secrets do you have to succeed in this business, in the crazy music industry?
Well, one of the first things I think is that people really have to get realistic about what's possible in the music industry today. The whole model has changed. People still want to hang on to this idea that somebody comes along and discovers you and makes you a star and puts all this money behind you and this and that and the other thing. And, you know, that just rarely happens anymore. All these labels have been folding because they can't make money off the artists, and it costs too much to really promote them. So that's one thing. Like I said, just realizing that the chances of somebody coming along and just financing your whole career and putting all that promotion and everything behind you are just slim to none. So that being said, once you sort of have that reality check, then you can go about the business of figuring out how you can do it yourself. And with the internet, social media and everything, there's just all kinds of ways to get your name out there. I always tell people, you have to be patient and you have to be tenacious. And it's just not going to happen overnight, and it's a building process. Like every day, I do at least 1 to 3 things to promote my music, even if it's something small. Send it out to an internet radio station. Sometimes I run little ads on Facebook or Twitter. You know, whatever I can think of, reach out to a blogger. But I think you have to make a commitment to at least do one thing every day to get yourself out there, because it may seem like a small thing, but as you do that over time, that all adds up.
Well, yeah, I think that the climate has become much more DIY than it was 30 some years ago. The internet is helped people and hurt people. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. But you're right in that it's really much more up to the artist individually to promote themselves versus waiting for somebody to come along to promote you, you know, with their promotion machine. I don't really think that happens too much anymore.
No, it's very rare. And I had the funniest thing happen because I do have this indie label, and I have helped other artists in the past, and so my label's getting kind of known among industry people. But I had a guy from Sony Nashville getting in touch with me. He works in the marketing end of things, and he's also a songwriter. And he wanted to know if I could help him either find an artist to promote a song or show him how to promote his song, you know. And I was just laughing to myself, thinking, you know, here I am, this indie person, and I've got this guy from Sony on the other end asking me how you do the indie thing. Because he said, I have no clue how to do the indie marketing. And I said, well, why can't you just market it through Sony? And he's like, well, we're not even making money on the major artists that we have. And we're noticing that these indie people are sort of coming up and selling records and doing things, and that's not our lane that we've been in, so we don't really know how to go about going through those indie channels. But it was funny. Am I dreaming? This is just a strange scenario.
Well, it does seem sort of funny, but it also seems it's plausible that he wouldn't have a clue, because the major labels have their own production sort of avenues that they've used for years. To all of a sudden have this new giant tool of the internet and social media is probably something he needed to take a few lessons to learn how to use, because they wouldn't have used that, you know, back in the day. They wouldn't have had to. They had TV, they had radio primarily for the promotion of music, and internet was something also completely different.
Yeah, and also the indie world, for the most part, the achievements that you get in the indie world are based on merit. They are not done on who you're going to pay off. to do this for. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So you just can't go paying off people in the indie world. There's nobody to pay. So yeah, everything that you do is genuine and real. And that's one reason I love being an indie, because I know that if my song does well, it really did do well. People really liked it. And that's why it moved up that chart.
Are you selling any music? Are you doing, are people buying your music? Because I know the climate these days is that everybody wants it for free. They want to just look at your video on YouTube, and people don't buy CDs so much anymore. They want to stream it for a penny. You know, it's much more difficult for artists to make money to sell music. Artists seem to have to do other things, like try to get their music sync licensed in films and TV and ads, or they have to tour. But how are you doing as far as actually selling your music?
I sell a pretty good amount of music. I mean, of course, we'd all like to sell more, but I guess that's another part of the reality check, is you have to realize that success anymore isn't determined on record sales or downloads, because even the major artists aren't selling that many downloads. And the percentage that you get from those downloads anyway is so small that, you know, you literally have to sell like millions of them, you know, to make any money at all. So I really talk to indie artists a lot about this concept of redefining what success means as a music artist, because it's no longer going to be about how much money you make online. Like you said, people can get it free, so why are they going to pay for it?
Right.
Most every song I do, I put a video up on YouTube, so, you know, they can sit at their computer and go listen. Why should they download it? There's no reason to. For me, I think success has to be kind of like what happened with me in getting my Christmas song named by those publications in their top 25 songs of all time and things like that, and getting all these wonderful reviews from people in the know that respect what I'm doing, and some of the awards that I've won, like I won 2 American Songwriting Awards and things like that. So I think it's more about the accolades now, and that can open the door to a lot of live performing opportunities, which in turn will make you some money, because whenever I go out and sing anywhere, I sell a lot of CDs, and of course you get paid for the gig.
Right.
So I think the more known you are and the more respected you are, obviously the more people are going to want you to come out and perform. I got invited to go to Europe and do a tour over there, and I had been thinking about that for years, but I just wasn't known enough. And then when I had some bigger things happen, I started getting phone calls. So,
well, I've heard that about touring artists, that they seem to sell. I've heard that they sell more CDs at their concerts than they do online. You know, I think once people are there, that the idea, oh, well, let me just pick up a CD or a T-shirt or something like that. They seem to do very well that way, selling at the venues.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I always sell a lot of CDs when I go out. So, and I have friends that it's the same way with them too. So really, that's kind of, if you're really that interested in making money from your music, you really probably just need to go out and do a lot of shows. I mean, honestly, I'm more happy with the accolades.
Well, I guess, you know, the old rule of thumb, or the old saying in this business was, if you went into music for the purpose of making money, you went into the wrong business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's, I think, something people need to take to heart, that you don't do this business because you want to make money. You do it because you love it, because it's your passion, and because it's what gets you up in the morning. If you're lucky enough to make money, then it's just icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, when I started out, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a big money-making venture or anything. I just wanted to sing and express that part of myself. And as I went along the journey more and more, my desire to really, you know, move people with what I do grew. So, because I know how healing music is, and how uplifting and encouraging it can be. And even if you're going through a bad time, like a breakup or something, and you're listening to a breakup song, you could sit there bawling your eyes out, but yet you feel better because you feel like somebody else understands. So music is just such a great tool for helping one another and connecting.
Very true. Yeah.
You know, and so that's ultimately, for me, what I want for my music is for people to be affected by it in some way.
Okay, well, we've got your last song here to play called Bluer Than the Bluegrass. Do you want to tell us anything about that one?
You know, a man in Delaware pitched that to me last year out of the blue, and I just, when I heard it, I thought it's like I hit the pot of gold or something with this song. I played the demo for my husband. He's like, man, I said, I know this is a total hit song. And, you know, it's funny because no matter where I send that or who it to, people just, they just, you know, gush over this song. So I feel really fortunate to have come across it because they don't come by that often, you know.
Who wrote this song?
A man named Robert Landis, and then his daughter Karen, she also sort of, she gave him the idea, and then he went ahead and wrote the lyrics and the melody. And like I said, they demoed it up. They sent me a pretty good demo of it that was, you know, it almost sounded like it could have just been released. It was that quality, but it just seemed like it was going to be a great fit for me vocally and just with my style. And yeah, it's just a really, really special song. And like I said, I'm very fortunate because these types of songs are so hard to find.
Okay, well, let's have a listen to this one. This is Bluer Than the Bluegrass by Luanne Hunt.
It's midnight in Kentucky, and I'm standing at the door, looking out across those moonlit fields where we once walked before. The shadows all around me dance and flicker in my mind, like the memories of you when you were mine. And I'm bluer than the bluegrass in the valley, as it shimmers like an ocean in the southern moon's pale light. There's a sad and lonesome whippoorwill singing somewhere on the hill, and I'm bluer than the bluegrass tonight. The warm Kentucky sunshine keeps thoughts of you at bay, and I almost forget those shattered dreams of yesterday. But when the sunlight fades and evening shadows start to fall, that's when those lingering heartaches start to call. And I'm bluer than the bluegrass
Oh, very nice. I love that little chord change at the end. It just added a nice kind of a break in the song. Just something out of, you weren't expecting it. You know, you're expecting it to go in the sort of the normal way it would kind of go. But then when that chord comes in, you're kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, well, that's nice. You know, that they threw that in. Yes, very, very nice. Very nice. I love your singing. Your voice is great.
Thank
you. Fantastic. Can you tell everybody, we're pretty much out of time here on the interview, but can you tell everybody your website and where they can find you and listen to your music and look you up and read about you?
Yes, my website is www.luannehunt.com, and Luanne is Luanne. And I'm also on Facebook at my URL there is Luanne Hunt Recording Artist. I also have all my music on iTunes and Amazon, CD Baby. I have a YouTube channel under my name. So pretty much if you type my name in Google, you can pull up a lot of things and a lot of places to go and listen.
Oh, super. Well, Luanne, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to have you on and to listen to your music. Best of luck. Are you working on anything now? Any new album or new songs?
Yeah, actually, I've been in the studio working on a new CD, so I'm hoping to have it all finished up by the end of the year. I've already done 2 songs for it, so I'm now looking for songs too. So if anybody out there hears anything great, let me know.
Well, I'll keep you in mind if any. You primarily do country songs, right?
Country and folk, yeah.
Country and folk. Okay. All right. Well, I get a lot of song submissions. If I hear one that sounds good, I'll send it your way.
I would really appreciate that.
No problem. Okay. Take care, Luanne. Best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Doug. I appreciate being on.
Well, that's about all the time we've got for the show today. I want to thank my special guest, Luanne Hunt, and thank you, Villa Avenue and John Jenkins, for your wonderful music. This is Douglas Coleman saying goodbye.